So let me again welcome everybody today. We had a wonderful first day yesterday, and I know we'll continue it on today. Also, I want to be sure to welcome those live streaming in today. We have hundreds of people doing so. Actually, 27 states are represented through this conference. 10 countries are also represented. So we have a full set of people kind of ready to enjoy today. We've got a great agenda today, and I want to make sure that I comment on it. Of course, this is the main ballroom, and the main ballroom is where we'll hold the main tent sessions, but we have an adjoining room here that's Ballroom 3. So the agenda today, we're going to have in today's session until 11, a module on remembrance, reflection, and resilience, and a discussion on Gitmo. Then at 11 o'clock, when you look at it, we split up where there's a session going on here, and you can determine which of the two sessions you prefer. Next thing I'd like to do is thank our sponsors, because without these sponsors, we wouldn't be able to hold an event in New York City 24 times and at a Marriott, such a fine place. So if you'd hold your applause, I want to call out our commemorative sponsor, which is Turk and Heath and Macaulay. Remembrance sponsors, Motley Rice, Peregrine Technologies, 9/11 Day, AmeriCorps, Rutgers, New Brunswick, and Kreindler LLP. They've really made a huge difference. If we can give them a round of applause, I'd appreciate it. And we have other sponsors that are very critical too. Our presenting sponsors, National Debt Relief, LinCT, Hexagon, and Niche RMS 365. And our supporting sponsors, Barish and McGarry, Celebrite, Spicer Krause, and Friends of Voices, ACES, eBodyguard, National Mass Violence Center, McCann Protective Services, Sadient Technologies, and Zen City. If we'd give all of them a round of applause. Another thing I want to announce is we again this year are partnered with 9/11 Day. And 9/11 Day, I'm sure you've heard of them over the years, they were called Day of Service, but this has grown to be just a monumental exercise of people giving back around 9/11 and doing some good deed. And it was called My Good Deed for a while. Our good friends David Payne and Jay Winnick lead this nonprofit, and they were nice enough to partner with us again this year. I'm going to hold up. This is a backpack bag. We have a room set up across the way. We're going to give you a little to-do here. At one of the breaks, if you take a few minutes, and within this, there's 19 different items. So this is a backpack. The items range from disposable masks, emergency contact cards, water bottle, refillable, first aid kits, a whistle, stress ball. It's really kind of nifty. So we want to have some fun with that. If you go into that room, make a bag, take one home for yourself. Everyone says they could be more prepared at home. And leave one for us then, and we're going to distribute them. So we'll make the 600 bags. 250 of the bags are going to go, or did they go last night, to the Intrepid. They went last night to the Intrepid. So at the Intrepid, there are hundreds and hundreds of people working on the project, doing non-perishable foods. So we're going to join in that. So please participate in it. Social media, if you're a social media inclined person, please be sure to spread the word about today's conference. And other pieces of administrivia, your cell phones, if you would be sure to silence them. Restrooms are right across the hall. We've allotted plenty of time for lunch today. Bill's Burgers is down on the first floor, I think, for those that have been here before. And those that don't want to go are able to go to it. We have a list of other delis and restaurants in the area. Security, if you'd be sure not to leave something really valuable in the room. We just want to make sure we're safe. And in the hallways, as you registered, you saw we have artwork, we have tables set up, we have information for you, if you take advantage of it. Also, last year we tried, and we're going to do it again this year. We've got these note cards that have 9/11 kind of things depicted on it. We've got for you ladies these gold bracelets that have a little bridge on it because we have talked about building bridges over the years. Those are available out there for you to consider. And the staff, I don't know if Sarah's in here, but Sarah and Stephanie, the team is ready to help you. So anything you need today, be sure just to call it out for them because they'll help you. So as you know, Voices has 3 areas of our business. So we are a social services company. When you think about it, offering lots of support, 210,000 hours of support so far. We offer educational events like the symposium. We offer trainings. So we want to show a video that goes through our journey since 9/11. So we'll take a look at that, and then Mary will come up to pick up from there. So if we roll the video, please.
In the face of unspeakable grief, you have kept alive the memory of the loved ones who were taken from you on that horrible day. And through your dedication and your resilience, you have honored their memory and made our country a better and a stronger place, and we truly cannot thank you enough.
I was named after my father, who passed away on September 11th when my mother was 3 months pregnant with me. I had the opportunity to intern at Voices, and through this experience, it gave me so much more insight as to why Voices and the resources they provide are still so important to people today.
I was able to share with them a lot, and it helped me to share with them to help myself and my children. We got through a lot from Voices.
I'm part of a larger 9/11 community, and I'm seeing a lot of people suffer from illnesses related to the air that was down here that they were breathing on 9/11. It's so important that they have the health support that they need, and they need compensation. They have families to support, and they can't work now because of those illnesses.
We have people that come in that need help on all different sides of the country, children whose parents pass away, and we're trying to help them get to the right place. And Voices has done a wonderful job of that.
The availability of resources to help people struggling with depression, struggling with traumatic grief. They had a place to go.
The amount of people you've helped is just thousands of people. Everyone at Voices is so compassionate and so caring, and they all believe in hope.
This is really a family, and it is one that has done more than any other network I can think of to bring together different people from different backgrounds around a shared goal of not only public safety, but of really working on healing communities that have been through different traumas.
What they are trying to get towards is a seamlessness that counts urgency, exigency, the response that has to happen from law enforcement, rescue, intelligence, government, with victims groups, because it can't happen separately.
One of the big themes today is about building community, and that's why it's an honor to be here and having that conversation, because part of a community are the voices of journalists who are members of that community, who are reporting on the events that happen, but who are also living and working in these neighborhoods and these communities as well.
A special thanks to Voices Center for Resilience for all the great work that you do. Disasters can strike in many different ways at unexpected times, and my hope is that more people in Connecticut and all around the country will take specific actions to equip themselves for emergencies. Let's hope these safety measures and precautions are never needed, but you'll be prepared, and other Americans should be as well.
I don't think there's a better example in American history of a group of citizens taking an event that was so personal and so tragic to them and turning it into a triumph.
We have a missing phone here already. Lost and found at the podium.
Thank you.
Well, I want to welcome everyone today as well, and welcome those of you who are joining us online. When we started Voices almost immediately after 9/11, it was really to gather the families in Connecticut and provide information and support. Beverly Eckert and I co-founded the organization, and we didn't realize at the time the monumental task that we had, and that it would continue on 24 years later. So our mission really hasn't changed. We're providing, information is so important, and you'll hear a lot of the presentations today are really to provide, not to take a stand on things, but to provide people with information. We all have different opinions on, what should be done or not done. And I think we want you to determine that yourself. So information is really important, and our program is filled with information that you're going to be getting on Guantanamo, on the Saudi lawsuit, on the World Trade Center Health Program, on the Victims' Compensation Fund, and then we have a couple of panels that are focused on mental health and wellness. And then, of course, preparing, as Senator Blumenthal said, for other tragedies. The other thing that we do is education, and this is our 24th symposium. It used to be called Information Forum, because in the early years, you may remember, we had the Red Cross here, the Salvation Army, the quilters, people that were giving art to the families. And we really, in the early stages, were focused on the victims' families. We had so many decisions to make with the compensation, with the building of the memorial, so on and so forth. And we knew the importance of commemoration, and that's why, while the museum was being built, we started the Living Memorial, and our staff worked with many of you. I remember vividly, some people would come for the first time and they wouldn't really know what it was and how, in the early stages of digital archiving. Even the Librarian of Congress, who we met with, said we were cutting edge. There were no standards for what we were taking on. But once they understood that we wanted to work with the families to honor their loved ones in a meaningful way and give them that opportunity to commemorate, to talk about their life, while the museum was being built. I remember someone then going home, putting everything in the trunk of their car and backing it up, and we'd have conference tables filled with photographs, personal items that we photographed, and other mementos. So that was really, a very, very meaningful project that we worked on. And today we have 87,000 photographs of the victims. Pretty immediately we realized that the responders and survivors, the impact that the tragedy had on them. There were 400,000 people that lived, worked, and went to school in the area. Of course, they had to leave their homes, leave their jobs, and came back oftentimes prematurely, where then they were exposed to the dust and debris and are suffering the consequences. And then, of course, the responders that worked in the recovery effort. I remember coming down here and after a meeting with the mayor's office, and Lee Ialpi, actually, many of you may know Lee, took me down to the site. And as we were standing in the corner there, well, I should backtrack. We went to that trailer they had on the West Side Highway. And I had to put fireman gear on. So, I had the hat, the, suspenders, everything on. And we went down to the site, and they found remains of someone as we were standing there. and the whole site just shut down. There was dead silence, and very respectfully, they carried the remains out. He then took me across the street to what they called the Taj Mahal, and that's where the responders and volunteers were resting, eating, gathering. And Lee leaned over to me and he said, as we walked in, "Don't look now, but you have 500 people staring at you." And I said, "Well, what are they looking at?" He said, "There's not a lot of fire femmes, especially in high heels and earrings." So that's why my grandfather was a battalion chief in Chicago, and that's one photograph that I don't have that I'm going to have somebody sketch, because I really would wish I had had that photograph. But we all have these memories of those early days and how it impacted our families, how it's still impacting our families, but we never dreamed when we were starting the organization that 24 years later we'd still be here. But look at the relationships that we have with each other. I know I'm reconnecting with a lot of people that I, met in the first year. So we do have the support services now that are really expanding with the responder and survivor population, and those support groups have grown just in the last few months. We've had, I think, 35 people come forward, many that we have never heard from before. It's the first time they've talked about 9/11. But there's a value in the continuity that we've been able to provide by maintaining those relationships with the medical examiner, with the World Trade Center Health Program, with the 9/11 Memorial Museum, so that if somebody comes forward the 24th year, we're able to connect them with any resources that they may need or answer any questions, because we have that background